I gotta hide my questions. You're not allowed a sneak peek. Cool. James Bruner, welcome to Birmingham. How are you doing? How are you finding the UK so far? Second day here, right?
Second day here. I'm loving it. I'm loving it very much.
Loving it.
Yes.
Is it true that you're gonna cover Gucci Mane's Christmas album? Because that's what I'm hearing. That's the word on the street.
Maybe one song on it. Like I think there's one, I can't remember the name of it. It's like trapping through the snow. I think it goes like that.
Yeah, you're a big fan of trap music, that kind of influencing the James Bruner style, the swagger. Funny,
I'm not influencing my music, but I did, like, when I got into skateboarding, I was listening to a lot of, Iggy Pop and the amazing rock that they were putting in those skate videos. But some of these skate parts were also putting, like, Rick Ross and Gucci Mane in it, and I got down with it as well. I enjoyed it a lot, yeah.
To be fair, the thing I find really cool about rap, and I think the reason rap's probably the biggest genre in the world, is they're so outward looking. Like, you look at Kendrick Lamar sampling Beach House, and even I was looking the other day, Kanye West sampled a Tom York song from Radiohead back in the day. Maybe we can learn from that in the rock space and
absolutely. Travis
show
Scott's,
some more love.
He's sampling Bobby Blue Bland on Mamacita. That's what that guitar riff is.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Kevin Parker from Tame Impala was doing production on his album, so...
Yeah, I think he did like Skeletons or something like that.
Yeah, Skeletons and Astro Thunder. So James Bruner trap is on the way then, we can confirm.
Can't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, it's open. It's open. What is the wildest cover you've ever done, though? Is there anything that people would be shocked that you'd have a crack at? Maybe on a drunken karaoke, maybe officially?
Totally randomly. My guitar player, Zach, the Reverend Mears, is right here, and he watched me cover Mamma Mia in a green room in Luxembourg. Totally. Wow. They were talking and having a conversation. I remember I got out the guitar and I strummed and played that, and it was so funny. All of them just stopped talking, and I finished the cover, and they just go, "Okay, James just covered Mamma Mia."
Was it good, Zach?
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. There you go. There you go. So obviously, like Radio 1 have their live lounge. What would be your go-to cover if you were ever in those hallowed grounds, or if you had to come on a radio station, KEXP, something like that?
I have one that I've really been loving. Just out of nowhere, it's called Therapy by All Time Low. They did that song like, I got your picture, I'm coming with you, dear Maria. That band, they did this song called Therapy, and I love that song. It's gorgeous.
That was incredible. You had a real kind of dash of Brendan Urie just then. It was like being transported to 2006 pop punk.
It was never a phase, Mom.
No. It goes. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of people now on Twitter or X social media, they re-embrace the phases from the youth, and they just they keep going. Other thing I found out about you on my research: big fan of gaming, big fan of Nintendo Switch.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the go-to game on tour? I saw Smash Bros on your
Smash
Switch
Bros is
screen.
great. I love to play that with my manager, even though he beats me every single time.
He beats you.
I've got one crack at him. I'll say that. I've got one really good crack at him, and we shook hands after. He was so proud of me.
Giving you the coaching, the esports kind of.
Absolutely. There's Crash Bandicoot Racing. That one's always a fun one. It's just like a higher elevated Mario Kart that I really like.
Yeah.
And then Zelda Breath of the Wild was my go-to tier 1, but I just beat it, so I'm on to the kind of the part 2 of it now, which is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Really love that one.
I feel like calling Crash Bandicoot a higher elevated Mario Kart is kind of controversial.
There
might be some backlash on that. Yeah.
I might, but I can live with it, man. It is so fun. Also, it's way more challenging than Mario Kart.
Even Rainbow Road?
I think so, in terms of Switch.
Okay.
Because the Wii Mario Kart, that's a different level. The Wii Mario Kart and even like 64 Mario Kart, those are hard games. And those can really get you. But if you take your time on them, you can master them. However, the Switch is I feel like it's more of a family fun game, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Not dashing that at all, but man, I do think that Crash Bandicoot, like, that's a little bit of a level up where you're like, okay.
Yeah, this is serious now.
We're all zoned in. Everyone's going to be quiet or trash talking. One of the two, not in between.
Definitely. We were having a cool little chat while we were setting up about Zelda, though. So for you, is that the go-to video game series? I mean, like the old school ones, Ocarina of Time you were talking about.
Yeah, it's very funny because I actually didn't grow up with like Nintendo 64 or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But like Nintendo Switch has this cheap like pack of all the 64 games that you can get. So you can get like Kirby 64, Mario Kart 64, which you were just talking about, and like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were the two Zelda games that they did on 64. And those games are so fun. I'm literally so close. I know what happens in the game, obviously. I've been watching my playthroughs. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that I'm watching a playthrough when I play Ocarina of
we
Time.
were talking about this. Like when I play the classic Nintendo games on the emulator, I can't look up a walkthrough because my pride and my ego gets dented. But you're saying you can't go through without one.
Well, because a lot of these people, when they played these games like Ocarina of Time, they had to find it from from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm impatient, and
You're
I'm
standing
just
on the
like,
shoulders of gaming giants.
Yeah, well,
every
yeah.
time you play.
Yeah, because the playthrough is like 9 hours, and I'm like, okay, with my learning and my brain, it's gonna take me about double or triple that.
Yeah.
So I've got to be really valuable with my time. And how much I'm playing Ocarina or how much I'm playing Majora's Mask or anything like that. But if it's one of the open world games like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, those games I'm just fully committing my life to, because those games, I look at the playtime for them, it's like 80 hours. I'm like, well, there's no way you can do that fast.
Yeah,
So,
who needs the social
Yeah,
life?
exactly. And it's about enjoying it too.
Yeah,
it's about
and
enjoying it. It's a
is
beautiful game.
One of the worst feelings, one of the most frustrating feelings is being stuck on a video game for like an hour. Like I was on Zelda, and you're just like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here? It's mad. With Majora's Mask, I feel like I saw a picture of the moon from that game when I was 6,
Creepy.
and it just haunted me.
Yeah,
Like fever
it's a
dream,
dark game.
like sleep paralysis demon. It is dark. The world gets destroyed on an endless time loop. They were ahead of the curve there. They were ahead of the curve. Zelda.
Absolutely.
Other fun facts I found out about you. Is it true your first concert was Drake Bell? Of Drake and Josh fame.
It was okay. So my that is very true, and it is so basically it was Drake Bell, Jordan Pruitt. I don't know if anyone knows Jordan Pruitt.
Can't say I do.
And then Corbin Blue from High School Musical. He played Chad in High School Musical, Troy's friend, and it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
and
top tier.
But after that, I say my first quote real, but the first concert I paid, like I had to have been like really young when I saw the Drake Bell one, so I wasn't all there. I was there with my sister. I was just kind of like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
but the first one that I bought a ticket to and was like, I have to see this and paid attention to every detail was Kiss.
Oh, okay. So
that was
very
it was an interesting like jump
and
how I took concert going. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm James Bruner. This is Bad News.
She's a dynamite gal in every shape or form. She's had blood on her hands since the day she was born. Yeah, she takes what she wants, and I've got what I need. If she's the bad news, then what does that make me? It's a tough break for a long day, but the sun sets no matter what I say. 5 o'clock news got me down the street with a woman on my mind and a gun on my head. I've seen cherries and berries, felt the rush of the wind, but nothing beats the taste of her tongue on my lips. Yeah, the ball is in her court, she's gotta make it move. But I'm still on the run, I'm gonna pay my dues. Looking at my wrist, I'm running out the clock. Bet all my life went up, this train gonna stop. It's a tough break for a long day, but the sun sets no matter what I say. 5 o'clock news got me down on the street with a woman on my mind and a gun on my head. I've seen cherries and berries, felt the rush of the wind, but nothing beats the taste of her tongue on my lips. Yeah. Strip with a woman on my mind and a gun on my head. I've seen cherries and berries, felt the rush of the wind, but nothing beats the taste of her tongue on my lips. Oh,
Beautiful. Nashville's a big part. Do you actually come from Nashville? Is that your...
I'm born and raised in Springfield, Illinois. I've lived in Nashville for about like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard like the Nashville music scene is kind of legendary. So how would you describe it to someone kind of outside? Because I feel like I've heard from the UK kind of bits of just how much heritage there is there, but to be there, it must be quite an experience.
Absolutely. You know, it is really known as, you know, country music city for the most part. I will say, there is so many genres in Nashville. It's not just country. Like, country has its place and always will there because of the amazing things that have come out of there. But, like, you know, Jack White's got his label there, Third Man Records. There's a lot of indie rock. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out of there. Like, one of my favorite, like, indie artists right now and in the indie rock scene lived in Nashville for quite a bit, Brista Maroney.
Okay, nice
And
one.
he sang, you know, that song, I don't know if you're Freaking Out on the Interstate. By
Yeah,
any chance.
think about it.
It's such a bop. It's great. But a lot of the stuff that's coming out of Nashville right now, I think it's really getting its time and place. Like, there's a lot of, like, people are bringing back rock. You know, there's Ace Monroe. There's this band that went to school with me that's doing the full-on, like, Aerosmith thing, like the shag haircut, the flare jeans, and they're just fully leaning into it. I'm like, that's
commitment.
awesome.
Yeah, I rate the commitment.
Yeah. So the Nashville music scene, it's all over the place, and I'm loving it.
I was reading a quote from you about heartbreak in music and how, you know, When I'm Down, like your new single, was inspired by heartbreak. Do you think that kind of maybe trauma can create something beautiful in music? Because I think there's a lot of cases of it.
Absolutely. I know artists, and I think I'm guilty of this myself in a good way. Sometimes it's harder to write about things that are happy. You know, I find myself writing some of my songs that I feel most vulnerable and most content with when I'm down and out. When I'm not feeling great, when I'm going through something or I'm grieving.
Yeah.
That's some of the most honest writing you can do. You're doing it the proper way. If, like, I remember Timothy Chalamet said something about, like, oh man, like, if you're grieving and you feel like, why is this happening to me, and it's so painful and everything, that means you're doing grieving and that whole process the right way.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that means.
It's the way the brain works.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. I'll always love Timothy Chalamet for making my name cool again.
Yeah, if he
it was
wants
hard
to,
being called Tim. Yeah.
If he wants to just let me know what hair product he uses, I'd love,
Timothy, if you're watching, did you watch Dune Part 2? It's an experience. I feel like
I did this past year. My drummer Sam got me on the Dune series. Yes.
It's kind of hard to watch that film and then not for the 2 weeks after just start shouting out "Listen, Al Ghaib" in the middle of the street nowhere.
For silence.
Yeah, that scene. How he does that. This is my father's ducal signet. I want to come on. Is that maybe an inspiration for you on the stage presence? Because I look at Timothy in that scene and I'm like, the ability to command that kind of attention from a crowd. It's actually weirdly a parallel to being a rock star, I guess, and you have to tap into something that's quite primal to achieve that.
It's definitely like channeling energy. Like when you're on stage, you're throwing energy at people, hoping they receive it and throw it back at you. And I definitely would say that, you know, it's commanding attention. It's commanding. It's in a weird sense commanding power of some sort.
Oh, it is. It's crazy power.
It's surreal. It's a beautiful, amazing experience.
I think you look at the famous example of like Freddie Mercury at Wembley. You know, when he's getting in the crowd,
he
to be
gets
like
out there
da
and he just punches the air 3 times, and they're like, 1, oh my gosh, 2, another punch, 3, oh, this is gonna be the best.
Yeah,
show
it's
ever.
crazy.
You know,
I love Muse as well. Like there are some moments watching them live where it's like the whole crowd is in the palm of the hand. Can be quite intoxicating, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of favorite heartbreak songs other than your own, are there any that come to mind? I think I really love I Want You Back by the Kooks. That's a kind of mainstay of like indie classic.
Yes.
Do you know Snow Patrol? I think.
Yeah.
So
I know Snow Patrol.
Set the Fire to the Third Bar, Snow Patrol with Martha Wainwright coming in. I don't know if it's exactly a heartbreak song, but that just kind of tugs there, I think, for me.
I don't know if this is a heartbreak song, but there's something about Creep by Radiohead that makes every young man feel so seen.
It is.
When they're striking out with a girl. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's like no one's there to break my heart.
Yeah.
Someone break my heart.
I'd say that one's pretty up there for me, if that even is considered one. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever covered that? Because I feel like with your voice, that could be... Wow.
I have. I've covered it full band before. Yeah, I love that song.
Is there footage of it out there? Can the world see it?
I'll have to ask someone to send it to me.
Dig it out.
We'll have to leak it. Yes.
Was it Where For You or Alibi?
Alibi.
Gotcha.
Oh no. That table is not as secure as I thought it was.
Ready whenever?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm James Bruner, this is Alibi.
lightning, baby, boy, running through dark alleys. I've got my soul, I've got my boots, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Delicate blossom with her fur coat holding up the street. I'll take some chances on the city for what it gives to me. When the night comes, honey, hold your tongue. Don't you tell me lies, don't you tell me lies. You ain't got no alibi, you got a dream and it don't seem right. Fly the coop, ring the bell, walk those streets of this town. You've been stuck that 9 to 5 or some sleepless nights. Now you're here, don't get too bored. Don't let it go unknown. Everlasting, yet they crawl all over and close from a town they know. Feel my heart beat out my chest, for what they see is what we wear. I see the light just like the dark, I'll see them laugh and I'll see them fight. I'll take some chances for what it'll give to me. When the night it comes, honey, hold your tongue. Don't you tell me lies, don't you tell me lies. You ain't got no alibi, you got a dream and it don't seem right. Fly the coop, ring the bell, walk those streets of this town. You passed up that 9 to 5 over some sleepless nights. Now you're here, don't get too bored. Don't let it go unknown. Night or day, it's your time to play. See that shattered glass on the floor. Night or day, it's your time to play. You're like shattered glass on the floor. You ain't got no alibi, you've got a dream and it don't seem right. Fly the coop, ring the bell, walk those streets of this town. You passed up that 9 to 5 for some sleepless nights. Now you're here, don't get too bored. Don't let it go unknown.
That's some ridiculous guitar work on the left. Cheers, guys. Listening to Better Days, obviously we heard an amazing session from you, so I got to witness it firsthand, but your vocals just incredible in that song. Quite rocky as well. My pleasure. What's your inspiration vocally? Are there any people you go to thinking about your journey as a vocalist going, oh, you know, I sing kind of this way because of them?
I definitely sing the way I do because I'm a huge fan of singers like that have a little bit of rasp and natural grit to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Damiano David from Måneskin.
Yeah.
I like him.
Love
Yeah.
Måneskin.
And even like Barnes Courtney, I think that his voice is so... Even like the singer from Kings of Leon, they have the natural grit to them, and I'm just trying to tap into that occasionally and just let it flow rather than push it.
Have you got to chat to any of Barnes Courtney yet? Because obviously you're on tour with them, aren't you?
Yeah, I toured with Barnes last year.
Oh, well, there you go.
In the fall, and we got to chat and hang out a ton. He's
Must be a cool
fun guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be a cool one. Drapes as well. When that came on, I was going through your kind of back catalogue, and suddenly it's kind of hearing a bit of that like almost indie rock, like math rock energy out of nowhere. And I love that. So what's the story behind that song? And there's a big instrumental switch up, I feel, from your rhythm.
There is. That one specifically, I referenced like a guy named Brista Maroney earlier. I was going through such a phase of like indie rock, Brista Maroney and bands. Oh, that was a voice crack right there, so hard.
Vocal warm-up.
And bands like, there's a band called Hippocampus.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah, Hippocampus. So I was going through a lot of those kind of things. And I've had the story about that song is actually very, very odd, so strap in. Yeah. If you're willing. And
I'm buckled up.
He's buckled. And I had this song, this riff in my head I had this dream when I was 5. Okay. I don't know why I remember it. I don't know the significance of it. All I know is I had this dream where I was at my grandma's house, and she had a piano in her house, and my sister would always go to it. She'd open it up, and she'd go, da, 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 chopsticks. Yeah. She'd do that. And every time it was just repetitive when we'd go over, and I had this dream where instead she went up to this piano, and it was not a piano, it was a figurine of the ship Titanic. Don't know why, but it opened up, and inside the Titanic thing was a piano. So instead of to get the piano to quote work, even though it was open, I don't know why, but she said, my grandma comes over to my sister in this dream and says, we haven't figured out the Titanic song yet. She goes, what do you mean the Titanic song? I can figure it out right now. And she spelled the word out in my dream. She went Titanic. And that bum, 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 bum. That's what you're hearing on Drapes. Bum, bum,
Wow.
Bum, 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 bum,
It came
bum,
to you in a
bum,
dream.
bum, bum. And I've remembered it all these years. And I don't know why. It always, I played it in a looper pedal. And I saved the video of it. And years
That's
later,
incredible.
when I, got people to play in my band and my players and my good friends, I was like, I'm gonna make this a song.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
It sounds like you had a kind of real life Twin Peaks sequence there,
I guess,
or something from
yeah.
Lost, something like that. That's absolutely incredible. There's an anecdote I remember from I think it was an 18th century violinist who had a dream that the actual devil came to him and performed this violin piece in the dream,
amazing.
and it was the most life-changing thing he ever heard. So he immediately woke up and then tried to recreate it. And it's one of the most famous, acclaimed violin pieces of all time.
Yeah.
And he says it's still like maybe a tenth of what he experienced in that dream. So inspiration can come
Because sometimes, like those dreams too, you can only take a percentage of them, if that makes sense. Because we are told that we're dreaming pretty much all the time when we're asleep, but we don't always remember them, which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All of the genius that's lost away.
Like you're
in the random dreams.
every few seconds or every few minutes apparently when you're asleep. So it's funny that some of them we remember, some of them we don't.
Absolutely. But it must be a really big time to be out in the UK supporting Struts as well.
Yes.
Is that huge for you? Obviously, a massive band influenced a lot of people.
They definitely, it is very surreal to me. I remember being in my senior year of high school and just listening to, there's a song by them called Could Have Been Me.
Yeah.
And man, that it's just such a empowering song, and his voice is it's soaring.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to that song so much in my senior year of high school, and now to be able to be going on the road with them, it's surreal. It's so awesome.
I can imagine.
I'm really really excited and stoked. Yeah.
I can imagine. Looking forward to the gig tonight. You have a song called Alibi. So what is the worst alibi that you've ever used to get out of anything that you didn't want to do?
I found one time we were in a bar in Canada, me and my band, and we walked in wearing leather and wearing denim, and
Classic.
and they kind of were like, who are these kids? Who are these people? And we told them that we were going on tour, and they said, well, why didn't you? Can you sing for us? And I said, genuinely I was feeling sick at this time, but I said, oh, my voice kind of hurts, and the person's reply in Canada was like, that is such a lame excuse.
My voice hurts.
as a
Gonna warm it
musician,
up, yeah.
they're like, you're a rock star, you're a musician, your voice hurts, that's a lame excuse. I'd say that's the worst alibi I've used, is my voice hurting.
Yeah, nice one. I'm really glad when I was looking for the songs, I picked that song title, Not Bad News, and be like, what's the worst news you've ever got? That might not
be a
work.
long day.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Literally.
very long one. But it's interesting that you mentioned the vocal anecdote, because the next question can kind of link to that.
Wow.
What is your pre-gig drink? Or any pre-gig rituals? Because I put on my own gig night in Birmingham, and I was asking some people there what their pre-gig drink was, the people performing. I had vinegar, like just hot water, no lemon, just hot water by itself.
Yeah.
There's some bizarre ones out there. Are you on the beer side or more kind of,
I don't drink any alcohol before I go on stage, but excuse me, I do like some tea, some decaffeinated black tea
nice one?
with honey and lemon, and also there's ginger and lemon tea that I really
Yeah,
like.
it's great.
I try to stay away from throat coat. I like it sometimes, but I've been told it doesn't do what you think it does for your vocals, and I feel like for just lubing mine up and just getting them nice and warm.
Yeah, that's quite a phrase. That's quite a way of putting it.
Yeah.
Gotta lube up the throat.
Absolutely, of course. And I think tea with less of that kind of stuff in it, I enjoy. Like I really enjoy just kind of tea, black Earl Grey.
Earl Grey is my go-to. I mean, you're here in the UK, so I love that you're embracing our culture. I feel like a lot of Americans I see online, they're like, oh, we don't get tea. It's just water. It's just hot water. So I'm glad you appreciate it.
I do enjoy, like, I like room temperature water too. Like, I don't like, sometimes I don't like it like super cold. Obviously, cold water has its time and place for me, but like room temperature water, a bottle of that before I get like 30 minutes before I go on is I love that. That's a good one.
Nice one.
Hey, I'm James Bruner. This is Wait For You.
It's not what you think it is, just what it's got to be. No idea, not a thought inside, that it brought you to your knees. You can stay inside all day, you can walk a straight fine line, and all I ask from God is that He shows me the light. But I will wait for you till the end of the day, till the end of the night, till the end of the fight. And I will stay with you when the deed is done, when you're not having fun, where there's nowhere left to run. I will wait for you. 'Cause it's a dangerous game that you play, yet I have to tell you twice. Not to say, no one is. You can go on home when it's all too much, too long where you lay. Till the end of the day, till the end of the night, till the end of the fight. And I will stay with you when the deed is done, when you're not having fun, when there's nowhere to run. I will wait for
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.